Back to part 2 of Awakened Truths.
Yep. And we are going to be talking about the aftermath of leaving.
That's a good one for them.
Yes,
we done broke it down on part 1, so let's get into part 2.
Okay, let's go. So obviously you're going to have to prepare yourself to being shunned, which we have made a bunch of videos on that. Just go back on our page and take a look at them. But shunning is probably the biggest psychological effect that this organization is going to have on you, and the biggest psychological pull, because that's where, okay, your community has been cut off from you.
Yep. And
there's nothing you can do about it. They're not going to talk to you. You can't talk to them.
At all.
Nope.
And that's something that just comes with it. And it's indoctrinating you to feel like something is wrong with you. And you have to have that solid foundation. Have your foundation strong enough to know I'm leaving because I'm doing what's right.
Yeah.
And stand on that, believe that. And what'll happen is over time they'll try to guilt you away from having that solid foundation to shake it up to now it's everybody don't want to listen to me. They think I'm crazy.
Yes.
They treat me like I'm the bad person, and now you start feeling like the bad person. No, stick to that foundation. I'm not the bad person. I know that something is not right. I'm speaking out on it.
Yeah.
And the people that don't understand it are speaking out of ignorance because they haven't done the research that I've been doing.
Yeah.
They are not open-minded enough to actually look at what I'm saying. They just going off of what somebody else told them to stick with.
Right. And it's quite possible you've already felt like the black sheep before you even leave. So now you're going to feel like that times 10, because now it's like it's manifesting in your life to where your friends and your family are not talking to you. Maybe before you experienced like a soft shunning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now this is boom, the hard shunning where people barely even make eye contact with you.
Yeah.
You know, and like people will post on Instagram them leaving and why they're leaving or whatever, Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media it is. And they'll be like, take a look at my follower count today. I have this many. And then by the end of the week, it'll be half of that. It's insane.
It is. And the part that helps with the guilt, people that really rock with you, gonna rock with you. In the real world, a friend is a friend. A family is family.
Yes.
Unless you do some crazy stuff like backstabbing stuff to somebody to where you deserve to get excommunicated. That's how life goes. But in this organization, just as simple as I don't have the same beliefs in a religion as you. In the real world, that doesn't faze people.
No.
Who cares?
Yes.
We can still be friends, whether we go to the same church and you want to go to a different church now. Right. I'm not about to stop hanging out with you, or we're not about to stop watching the game together. So this is part of a cult. Understand how cults work. We've touched on that, the 10 signs of a cult.
Oh, that's a good video. You guys have to check that out.
It is, isn't it? But understand that it's not nothing personal. So don't take it personally when these people shun you. The same way we would talk to shun people, it's not personal. So understand that you were able to do the research. These people just haven't done the research, and they just following the protocol of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes, because that's what they're told to do. There's nothing else. But it's funny because it goes from like shunning, and then it starts hitting like the harassment point to where they see, okay, this just shunning them is not enough. Like just not talking to them, that's not enough. So we need to start, telling them why they need to come back.
Yeah, because they cannot accept that. We even show in one of our recent videos in the beginning. I've been done with this religion for years, and till this day, my granddad. I remember one time coming to town. He wanted me to come to the meeting. They just can't accept that you don't want to do this no more. He sent a letter in the mail all the way from Ohio down here to down south with was a Return to Jehovah brochure and the tract. They will harass you for life because they can't accept anybody not wanting to be in this organization because the end about to come any day now.
Yes, and to them it's like a make it or break it thing. Like if we don't get them back now, then they're not going to be able to live with us in paradise earth. Like it's you have to think like they're living in survival mode. Okay, so they're trying to get everybody, all the people that they love, into this organization so that they can also be saved. It's just crazy the way that works.
Ain't it? It's annoying. They don't take no for an answer at all.
No, and you have to understand it from their point of view a little bit, but it is just very disrespectful because it's like you are always taught never to push what you believe onto other people, okay?
Right.
But they do not have the same boundaries and they do not have the same respect. You can tell them one time and you could say it nicely, like, listen, that's not my thing. I don't want to do that. Like, I have my reasons for it. And you're trying to, like, walk on eggshells whenever you're saying stuff like this.
Yeah, for real, though.
Yes, because you know how much it might hurt them. Because we were in that position before. So you're walking on eggshells with them, but they're over there like, you know this is the truth.
And just
you need to follow it. Like,
yeah, how do you think Jehovah feels?
Like, you are rude.
Yeah, what about they even throw in a family member that's no longer here?
Yes.
How do you think they gonna feel in the new system when you're not there? And it's like the whole time.
That's manipulative.
It is. You are trying, like you said, trying to be respectful about it because we got the answers.
Yeah.
Best believe we got the answers. It'll shut down everything you believe in. But we understand that your mind is not prepared because you haven't realized nothing is wrong and done no research yet.
Yes.
So we kind of, no, thank you. I don't believe in that. And it's just something in the brain of a Jehovah's Witness that cannot understand no. They will come back. They will keep coming back to your house. They'll knock on your door. You're not interested. They'll double back again or leave. All right, maybe they're not interested, but when it's time for the memorial season, we not gonna skip over their door. We're gonna leave this in the door.
That's why we would get to the door and they would be really mean. We thought they were really mean people. They'd come to the door with a gun, like, hey.
Like, leave.
And then finally they get put down as a do not call or whatever.
Yeah, like.
But they had to do something extreme, like leave.
Or cuss you out at the door, slam the door in your face. And
nobody wants to get rude.
No.
Like, I don't want to have to get rude.
But I will if you keep coming here because they will not take no for an answer for nothing. And it's like, yo, enough is enough. Stop coming here. And in our minds, that's just Satan.
Yeah.
They just don't understand the truth. Jehovah hasn't opened their heart. No,
you're rejecting Jehovah. They're not rejecting us.
No, like they don't believe in this BS that you're trying to sell. That's it. That's the reason. They will try, and this is something else. They will try to convince you that your thoughts ain't your thoughts. Or your feelings ain't your feelings. You don't really feel that way. Yes, I do. I'm explaining exactly what I'm thinking.
Who have
what
you
I'm
been
feeling.
hanging around? Like, da-da-da-da-da, this is who we are. We've always been this way. Like, speak for you. This is who you are. Like, don't speak for me, though, you know? But it's always somebody else is controlling their thoughts. Oh, they have that new boyfriend. Oh, they have that new girlfriend. Oh, they've been hanging around that person from work. That's why all these thoughts are going through their head. Listen.
Because that's how they operate.
Listen.
All their thoughts come from somebody else telling them to think it.
I can't. I can't. That drives me insane. Like, please, because I view that as super disrespectful and very belittling. Like, to always assume that your thoughts are coming from somebody else. Like, is that how small you think of me? That I can't ever have my own opinion or own thought?
I can't form no type of idea in this brain.
Yeah, this incredible brain that I've been given by God, I can't form a thought?
Exactly. It makes you think of the whole Santa Claus thing when you leave this organization. Right? Because they keep on trying to convince you, even once you clearly state, I don't believe in this, I don't want nothing to do with this. In their mind, it's like, all right, back to the drawing board. How can we reel you back in? Think of Santa Claus. Santa
Claus, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny.
All of that. When you found out Santa Claus and all this stuff was fake, that's it. Me as a 30-year-old man, nobody is about to come and convince me to believe in Santa Claus. I don't care what you say. It's a wrap. And it's the same thing once you wake up from this organization. Once you know, like JT and Lady C and them say, once the bell is rung, you can't unring the bell. Or they gave the paperclip example. Once you unwind the paperclip, you could try to fold it back up, but it's not going to be the same. So once you realize that this organization is bogus, that's it. It's done.
I always say that once the curtains have opened, like, you can't close them again because you're just exposed to it. You see it from a mile away. You can't sit there in the Kingdom Hall and be like, oh yeah, all of this is real. You even try to convince yourself to sit there and believe that way, but then there's always something in the back of your head like, that doesn't sound right, that doesn't sound right, that doesn't sound right.
That's how it was my last my last year at the organization. Once I understood that what the original people on this earth look like, and then what they teach at the Kingdom Hall, I would literally look, even like Jesus, it's like, this is a white dude in Africa with a bunch of other white dudes, and it was just like, I would try to ignore it, but I would be sitting there looking at these publications or looking at the screen like, bro, this is not true, this is bogus, and there's no
because
way.
if you get something that small but large wrong,
right,
what else are you getting wrong?
And then say, oh, it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter?
If it doesn't matter, then why isn't it depicted as both or all?
Right. If that's the case, this is not truth. And this is supposed to be the truth. So things like that, once you know, there's no way to go back.
Yeah.
It's like Santa Claus.
Right. Once you do the math on some of those dates, some of the doctrines that just don't make sense, like you can't take it back. And then any talk that has to do with that doctrine that doesn't make sense, you are literally sitting there like, this is BS.
Like, this ain't BS. True.
I remember even studying and like preparing for our little midweek talks or whatever, for the ministry school.
Right.
You know, even preparing for that, like you get a subject and then you get a couple scriptures and then you go off of those scriptures to talk about your subject. And it was like pulling teeth for me sometimes to put together like one of the talks, because I'm like, I actually don't really understand this topic. I don't understand how this goes with that, but I'm going to try my best to make this go with that. Like,
for real. Thinking back, I don't know if they still do the talk number 3s where you, it was like 5 minutes you have to get up.
I think they do.
Okay. Things like that. I never wrote it start to finish for myself. I would always go to my granddad and have him help me make sure I do this talk right, because I don't know how to just wing this stuff with a couple scriptures and a topic given to me on the slip.
Right. And then you always have the people who did give talks and they would say like weird stuff, and you never want to be that person that like people look at you weird. You just want to be cookie cutter by the book, good enough to pass, like, and go on. Remember,
they would counsel you twice. It would be after your talk, good job, brother, you were working on eye contact, such and such, and then they would pull you to the side afterwards. I remember one time, I wish I brought this up the other day, when they were saying that they don't treat women as second-class citizens. The freaky brother got up there one time during his talk, this was during a comment, during the Watchtower study or something, and he said, I like for my wife to pray for me sometimes over the family, and people's reaction was kind of like, because that's taboo, the wife can't pray over the family. So in the midst of, it was the midweek meeting during the Bible study, so when that part is over, before the meeting was over, one of the elders threw on his jacket and was like, hold on just a second, and he shot up there off script and got up there and scripturally corrected the organization.
The congregation. They used to do that. If somebody said something like wrong.
Yep, he jumped up there and basically kind of didn't point at him, but put him on blast. Everybody know who he was talking about. Actually, Jehovah doesn't approve of the husband letting the wife pray over the family. In this scripture, it says this, and that, in that article.
I forgot they used to do that.
Yep.
Like even some of the what was it, like the announcements or whatever, whenever they would be talking about something, a lot of times they would end up talking about something that happened like the week before or a couple days prior. Everybody in the Kingdom Hall knows who they are talking about.
Oh, when they would do like the Mark talks.
Is that what they were?
That was, shout out to, I don't even know, I'm not going to say his name, but it's he a poet, and he do like a talk show conversation thing, but he went to my congregation and he got marked because he had got disfellowship, came back and got disfellowship again, and they let him know we're going to be talking about you. And he was basically getting in trouble with women and stuff. Yeah. And the elder got up there and the talk was about him, and he mocking him. Some brothers can't take accountability for their actions, and this, I can't keep them off me. I don't know what to do. And the dude is pissed. He looking at somebody like, talk about me. But that's
they did that. And it would be super humiliating and embarrassing because everybody in the Kingdom Hall knows who they're talking about, and you're just quietly looking at them and looking at their reaction. You know what I mean? Because you know they're talking about you in front of everybody, and and that was looked at as totally okay.
It is, and these are the things and the reminders you need once you escape this religion and realize, I don't miss none of that. I don't want nothing to do with none of that stuff. So remember these topics.
Yeah, no kidding. For them, it's so simple. Like, it's just, all you have to do is come back. But like we said, once you know that these core teachings are not right, why would you go back? The only reasons you go back is because of your friends and your family, so that you can associate with them again. That's the only reason. But if you're like if you are in integrity with yourself, you know what I mean? You can't just sit there and be in that kingdom hall knowing that a lot of these topics are wrong, or knowing that what they're teaching is wrong. You don't feel right within yourself
at all. And a lot of people battle with that because, like, not talking down on PMOs, because everybody's situation is different. But you have some people.
It's understandable.
It is. Then you have some people that they call like memorial witnesses.
Yeah.
That they don't go to the meetings, but they'll come to the memorial every year because they don't want to hear their family tripping about it. But it's wrong, and that comes down to having that stable foundation of, I'm not wrong for not going to this cult Passover.
Yeah.
I don't care how it make you feel. You don't have to like it. You don't even have to understand it. Right. But this is wrong, and I'm sticking with what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
Yes, and they blur those lines so often. So to them, it's so simple. Like, just come back, because maybe and if the roles were reversed, that's what they would do, is just come back, so that it can be simpler and easier for everybody. Now you don't have to deal with the emotions of your parents or your grandparents or whoever it is that you have in the kingdom hall, that's your family. Now you don't have to deal with their emotions, and you can make them happy, because they make a people-pleasing society. So you can make all these people happy, and we can be all united and together again. But if you truly believe that this is not right, and you cannot withstand dealing with something like that and just sitting there blindly listening to these things,
but the bogus stuff,
understand that is okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not a crime. And the reason they always say all you got to do, a Jehovah's Witness thinking only reaches this far. Once you escape this cult, your thinking goes from here to here. So they are only giving a perspective of somebody that's swimming with a rubber ducky inner tube.
Yeah.
You swimming without one easily, and they saying, well, all you have to do is put this rubber. I don't need that.
Yeah.
And they mind can't understand, because they've always swam with some type of floaty device.
Blanket,
and you don't need that. They can't understand that until they take that thing off and realize, oh shoot, I'm floating.
Right. Or wrap their mind around just the freedom that you may have gotten now, and it's crazy to me how they always try to point out, like, people who have left and now their lives are horrendous. That's always the examples that they use of people who leave Jehovah.
And those are the ones whose life do end up bad. But that's human life. Why is your life jacked up then, Mr. Jehovah's Witness?
Right. Why is it your life is so much better?
Right. Why are you depressed for? You got the truth. Jehovah got y'all under this protective umbrella. Why you got the problems that the person that don't even believe in this Jehovah got?
Right.
Sound like y'all getting the same deal.
Yes, but they try to create this distinct separation between people who are Jehovah's Witnesses and how they have everything versus people who have left, and that their lives are so much worse. And the reality of it is, it's just not true.
No, it's life. Life has ups and downs. Everybody's life. It don't have nothing to do with your beliefs. Sometimes, depending on how you carry yourself as far as the energy in your life, and what you put out is what you get back. But at the end of the day, nobody's...
Or just your viewpoint in life in general. Like, you could be having a terrible day, but if you decide midday, like, okay, I'm going to switch my thinking around, this day is not so bad, then it becomes not so bad. Or sometimes it is just bad for the day, and it just is what it is.
You move on. Nobody has, some type of bad day repellent or bad things repellent to make everything just be perfect in life.
Right.
All you can do is be the best version of you, but this has nothing to do with your religion, because every religion goes through the same everyday problems through life.
As humans. And if Jehovah's Witnesses were so much more happier than other people, then they wouldn't have these articles that come out saying, how can you live a happier life? Like,
for real. And
come on.
I like how you mentioned earlier the freedom thing. Jehovah's Witnesses, this is what we go through as being out. We get to the freedom. Their minds can't understand freedom, because everything is controlled. Everything is in order and it's an order placed by somebody else. This is how you got to go step by step through each day, through life. And once you escape that, they're like, well, no, you got to accept Jehovah. You got to be under this umbrella. You got. That's they pretty much push that on you, and it's like, I don't have to do nothing.
Right.
And they can't understand that I ain't got to do nothing.
Nope. And to them, it's like, if good things are happening to you outside of the organization, that is Satan blessing you. Like, it's not God. But if you're in the organization and something good happens to you, that's Jehovah blessing you. It's just so crazy whenever you think about that. Because even if you're in the organization, okay, if something bad starts happening, that's Satan testing you.
But
if something bad's happening to you outside of the organization, it's because you're part of Satan's world. Like,
and Jehovah is punishing you for it.
Yes, like,
that
come
makes no
on.
sense. Which is it? It's like you just picking and choosing when to pull this card and use it.
Yep. There are definitely positives that come with the aftermath of leaving as well. So don't let us fool you and make you think that it's only these negative things. A lot of the negative things, they just stem from leaving a cult, like or a like cult-based organization.
It's like the beginning of when you first get out.
Yes.
It starts off tough, and then it ends up 10 times better. We can promise you that because we went through it. All of us go through it.
Yes, and we get comments to this day of people like asking, kind of like, when does it get better? But if you ask other people, they're like, oh my goodness, like, I'll take this life over the life that I lived in there a million times over. You know what I mean? Because that's the truth. Now you've been given this, we've talked about it before, but like a religious and spiritual freedom, and it doesn't feel so heavy anymore. You don't feel like you have to do all of these things in order to be loved by God. You get to have this freedom to where you get to go and search for the information yourself. If you want to stop and go be a Baptist, you can go be a Baptist. You can go join this other Christian church that fulfills you in a different way. You know, you have that freedom now.
Yeah, you can read whatever, and that's like we mentioned before. Jehovah's Witnesses, they favorite thing to say when you compare religions or different beliefs is, well, once you come across a real dollar bill, you will need to look at counterfeit dollar bills. This is not even something they came up with on their own. This is something we was all taught to say. But this is bogus because that's not real life. Real life is, all right, I got this macaroni and cheese recipe. This the best one in the whole world, and I ain't trying no other ones. No, you will try. You could try different ones, or at least try 50 to 100 different ones, and then decide. And I guarantee, different ones have different flavors, or you might like something about this one, but like something else about that one, and they both are good. And you might take a piece from this and a piece from this and use it in your ingredients. The same with, religion or these beliefs. Jehovah's Witnesses, once you come across them, they like, don't check nothing else.
Yes.
Don't look at no other recipes. Just stick to this one. No, you should be able to look at all of them. And you, like you said, you got that freedom to where you might decide to be a part of another religion, or you might not be religious at all no more. And there's people who become atheists,
and we say the same thing with that is everybody goes on their own journey once they leave, so you can't say one is better than the next. Like, I'm not going to down an atheist because they're an atheist, and because that's where their path has led them in this part of their journey. You know what I mean? There's a reason that they feel that way, and there's no reason to down them, but coming more from a place of understanding, it's just a better way to move through life.
And this is what brings them peace. You don't understand that because you don't take no for an answer as a Jehovah's Witness, but everybody has, like they always say, free will. But they say you have free will, but then they say you also have punishments for not going against or for not going with this script. That's not free will. Free will is do what works for you. At the end of the day, life is about being a decent human being, and the core values are the same all across the board. Be a good person, be an honest person, be nice to people, help out people when you can. That's pretty much it. All that other stuff is irrelevant. You got to follow this certain book. Don't read that book. Don't talk to them people over there. That stuff, that's where the man-made stuff comes in. Just the everyday good things in life is in your essence. Like we said, you didn't have to read a book to realize you shouldn't go upside an old lady's head and snatch her purse. It's not like you were thinking that until you read a book. You like, dang, I ain't supposed to go rob no old lady. Nah, that's certain stuff is already within you. You see somebody on the side of the road, a little kid stranded with dirty clothes. You didn't have to read the book to be like, dang, I should feel sad and some empathy when I see a poor little kid over there all alone. That's just in your soul
normal
naturally.
Human emotions, human reactions. That's how we were made. But also, once you leave, you get to actually find who you are, and I think that is very frowned upon whenever you're in the religion. Like I said before, they try to dim your light, and anything that makes you kind of different is, I'm not going to say it's frowned upon, but it's definitely not encouraged, you know?
It's not.
So you get to find what your true purpose really is, which that's a fun journey within itself.
It is, because it goes on for life. You learn new things about yourself through your whole life.
Yeah.
Especially if you're searching for it. If you're really looking to grow as a person, you really start to examine yourself and your thoughts.
Yes.
And the things that you love to do. And like you said, when you escape this cult, now you allowed to do it. You wasn't allowed to do it before. No. You got in trouble for, man, you know what? I don't want to go to the meeting this weekend. I want to go to this exhibit, or I want to go to the, play the instrument at this concert. Things like that you weren't allowed to do. So it's like, dang, even though within me, this is what I would love to do. This is something I'm passionate about. I'm not allowed to do it because it's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you get to move through life in just a different way, and even just being more aware of what other people are going through, or more aware of your own thoughts, your beliefs, and being open-minded to what other people believe too. I think that's been kind of the funnest part for me, is actually listening to other people's beliefs. Because I did not listen before. I would just be like, yeah, good for you. I
not Watchtower.
Not you.
But now you get to listen to people and really ask real questions, and you can go along with whatever they researching. Oh, well, let me read that too beforehand.
Yeah.
You don't read nothing outside this Watchtower when it comes to beliefs or people's lifestyles. That ain't it. You got that, and then the best part about it, to me personally, was the guilt-free.
Yeah.
Being able to really explore your freedom, but without the guilt.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, you don't have to feel guilty for going and getting a luxury car that you wanted. You don't have to feel guilty about that. Like, you worked hard for it, so you're allowed to drive it.
For real.
Like, what is the problem?
You get to do what you want. As long as you ain't doing nothing crazy and breaking no crazy laws or hurting other people, you are free to live your life guilt-free.
Yeah.
You can date who you want to date now.
Yes.
You don't have to follow, all right, this person they don't be going and raising their hand or knocking on doors enough. But I really like them, but I can't talk to whoever you want to talk to. You can
be friends with whoever you want to be friends with.
Without the guilt.
Yes, it doesn't have to be, oh, this person has to be a Jehovah's Witness, or if I want to go and hang out with them, then I need to be taking my my Watchtower to preach to them. Like,
none of that. Yes. Hang with your family members that maybe you couldn't hang with before. Kick it with them. I'm sure you got some cousins or somebody that's not Jehovah's Witnesses, or somebody you meet at work, at the gym, at somewhere you got a hobby at. You can meet people there and hang with them, and there's no guilt. You could talk about who you really are. You don't have to be like, oh, I don't want to bring up the awkwardness of the Jehovah's Witness stuff. So you could talk about all that stuff. You could talk bad about the organization if you want to. You can't get in trouble for it.
You can talk about your experiences in life. Like, you just feel... It does. It just feels more free. Yeah. And I'm not sure if it's the guilt-free aspect of it, but it's just being able to genuinely communicate with other people instead of it being always with an agenda.
There's no limit.
Yeah. And that's how it felt for me before, is it was like either I always had an agenda, or I would talk to you, but it would only go so far.
Right, because it's like, you can't have any type of future with anybody that's not a Jehovah's Witness. Like, we could be cool, but I can't really be a friend with you. I can't really even hang with you or make no plans down the line for us to really kick it like that, because
and that's
you're
so
not one
sad.
of me.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
It is.
Yeah, that's gone now.
So now you have freedom, you are guilt-free, and you get to find your purpose. Those are the three best positives of getting out of this religion. So don't always focus on the negatives. Of course, you get shunned. And think of the things that are out of your control versus what's in your control. Yeah. And that really helps deal with the stress of getting off this cult. The things out of your control, other people. Another thing, things that already happened in the past, or things that might happen in the future that you don't even know. The future doesn't even exist. The only thing that exists is the present.
Yep.
The past don't even exist. That's gone. But we will focus on what we went through in the organization. We focus on how everybody is going to look at us. We can't control how they're going to look at us. They can only control that if they open their minds up to actually learn about the cult they in. But what can we do?
No.
All we can do is focus on growing as our own self, having our freedom, not living in this guilt, and just figuring out what we're here on this earth for.
Yeah, that is facts.
That's the
and
real
I
deal.
think something that one of my friends had said too is that like dating is fun outside of the religion, because you don't have all of these external pressures on you anymore,
right?
And you get to actually make genuine connections with people instead of it being, oh, we are dating and we're getting together and we're getting married because everybody's pressuring us to do so, and she's a pioneer and he's a ministerial servant, so we might as well just get together, you know? Like that's the dating culture whenever you're a witness.
For real.
Once you're outside of it, like you get to make genuine friendships and genuine relationships.
Right, and you are allowed to like what you like without the guilt.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you like somebody with some piercings on their face, it's like, it's fine.
Right.
Nobody else is thinking about it.
For real, this person is a musician or or a rock star, a rapper. You allowed to like that if that's what you like. Right. You know what I'm saying? This person got colorful hair. You weren't allowed to like that stuff before, but this person got orange hair and you like it. Like it then. No guilt.
It's true.
Yeah, but hopefully we was able to help y'all with this one. And make sure they hit us up on our Instagram. If y'all got more questions or more things y'all feel like we need to cover, that's at Awaken Truths IG. And on that note, what else they need to do?
Like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to be doing a giveaway at 5,000 subscribers. We're like, what, 400 people away? Something like that.
Yep, we getting there, so keep running them numbers up.
Yes, and we will catch y'all next time.
Yes, indeed. Peace.